Alrighty, so the teams are in, and I am hoping this week that we don't have anything that we're not expecting to see. Like this week in particular is so important, and I'm actually going to be so gutted if there's something that I didn't see coming that's going to upset my trade plans. So apologies in advance if that occurs. Alright, so far so good. Brody Kemp, just the one game, lad. Bit disappointing for that guy. I didn't really see him play, so a bit of a pity. So Jack Steele, this would be an example of something I'd freak out about if I didn't already know that. But yeah, obviously Jack Steele is out, so he's a big reason why if I have someone else out that I'm not expecting, it's going to be a problem. Okay. So far, so good. Medi sub for Cooper Stevens, so I guess you'll be hoping for an early injury in that one if you've got him. I'm actually nervous. Tristan Sherry's back. Wow. He came back a bit sooner than I was expecting, but definitely the right move to trade him. Okay, Callum Coleman-Jones. Whenever I've seen him play, I've been like, fuck, that guy's good. So I don't know, he keeps getting omitted and then gets put in the team, I don't know if he just doesn't get enough of the ball, but I swear whenever I see him play, I'm just like, shit. Like if he takes like a big mark or something like that, I'm like, that guy's talented as fuck. Gibcus is back, but he is gone. Got rid of him last week. Okay, so far so good. I think there's only one more game, eh? Oh, there's another one, okay. Lockie Whitfield injured. Imagine. I was just about to say, imagine starting Lockie Whitfield, but I did. What a shit pick. And I think that, to be honest, he was so highly owned as well. I wish I expressed more concern about it in hindsight. Like, I definitely thought to myself, the back end of last season was not convincing, and as far as I was concerned, he's definitely just simply not the player he used to be. I think a lot of us might have picked him up at the back end of last year, if I'm remembering correctly, and I think I might have been one of them, and I'm pretty salty. Connor McDonald Medi sub. Now, this is a big talking point because is Connor McDonald going to play through the buys? I bet a lot of people, when they're planning for their buys, you click on the show buys tab and you're like, oh yeah, Connor McDonald and 1, 2, 3, and you count them up and it's like, he'll play. But there's a huge chance he doesn't play. Like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't even named in the team the last 2 weeks, and he just weaseled his way in. One guy got injured, and I don't even remember what happened last week, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't named originally to play. Could be wrong about that. This week in the Discord, actually, I wrote I was like, what the hell, George Hewitt's not playing? What's going on? He's not in the teams. And it actually just turned out that I was looking at the previous week, and it was a bit embarrassing, but alright. Let's have a look at what happened. So I got 2186. I'm reasonably happy with that. And I'll just get straight to it. I think I did better than Eno and JD, but Supercoach George crushed me this week. Supercoach George only has 13 trades, so, or maybe less. So he is in actually possibly a bit of strife just due to that. We'll see what ends up happening. The buys are the big talk, though. The buys are the big talk, because I think you got to get ready for the buys right now, and that's the most important thing to focus on. In saying that, to my trade plans that completely contradict that, I'll show you what's going on here. So I'm just going to undo this. And what have we got? So it's time, in my opinion, for Rao to leave. I just think that he's been absolutely clinging on. If we check out Matt Rouse Supercoach, then I think we're going to find that just his disposal numbers have been like he had that big fat 33 and he had an inspired performance against Lions, which was like, big Q Clash game, and then the Magpies, not the best midfield. So then he goes up against the Swans, who are really good. Gets an 88, you know what? And that was an inspiring last quarter performance. He was on like a 50 after the third quarter, and I was thinking he's might struggle to get something decent here. He gets an 88. I was pleased with that. I saw some, the Supercoach Insider guy, one of them, he said that he thought Matt Rowe's been a terrible pick, and other than this 157, he's been trash. And I don't know. I just don't look at it like that. Like, I just reckon the price you paid for him, what was it, like $350 or something like that? Like, he only made 90k. Maybe you need to make 150k to be, like that's the magic number to be a good trade. But points on field, there has to be something said for that. And you got to sort of lower the typical price you use because he's scoring a lot of points, which is ultimately the goal. So he's worth more. So anyway, I reckon making 90k, I'm pretty sure something he made about that, is 97. That's good for the amount of points he scored. He got an average 92. Imagine a rookie doing that. That's a fantastic pick. I reckon he's been great, and for those reasons, it's going to be sad to see him go. But plus, I just love watching him play. But it would be nice if he could replicate that first round performance. I don't know if anyone actually watched that game. I did, and I was just like, bro, this guy is keeper territory. I got really excited because he played so well and dominated. But he then sort of went back to kind of like the almost entirety of last year, getting back from that shoulder reconstruction and trying to get back into the swing of things, slowly but surely. So Rao's going to go. The other one I was going to do was just get rid of Dylan Stevens. So not expecting him to play in the buys. I believe he's just getting repeatedly named on the emergency bench. That's St Kilda, mate. All right. He's just continually getting named on the emergency bench. He hasn't been a medi-sub. I don't even know if that means you're more likely to be in the team if you're named medi-sub. They're probably going for like the more, we need that explosive, versatile guy because we don't know who's going to come out of the game. Anyway, this is what I was going to do had I not known that Jack Steele was injured, which I didn't even find out about until like 2 days ago. So it was Petrarca. And of course, the obvious one, Clark. I think everyone, if they don't already have him, is getting in this guy this week because he's scoring real good and it's looking like an absolute must-have as a rookie right now. So this strengthened my team so much, being able to get rid of Carroll. Oh my God, what a shit show that was last week. All those people that had Macomb on field, I was like, hell yeah, lucky I didn't field Macomb. And then Jack Carroll comes through with a 28. And then I thought to myself, well, thank fuck I didn't have Maurice Rioli, who scored like a fucking 7. It's such a sweet feeling, and it's kind of like a bad thing probably. Like it's like the devilish aspect of you when there's a player that's highly owned like that, particularly a rookie, because it's like some like guy who's not got much experience, and really like you want him to do well. Like you would never wish for that guy to have an absolute stinker. But from a Supercoach point of view, you're just like, you just feel so good. Like when Maurice Rioli went 7, I was just like, yes, I love that. But yeah, he's I'm lucky. I'm just happy I don't have him. So yeah. I preferred the option of, in some cases, for a lot of people, they got rid of Roses for him. I felt like that was a poor move. Well, it turned out to be. Okay. So, I don't know why I just got rid of Jack Carroll. That's just how much I resented him for last week. Okay. So now that I know that Steele's gone, I have to choose someone. And I said it last week the one who I'm hoping would save my season, and I was thinking to myself, shit, if he goes big, there'll be like no way for me to get him. And then this week, the obvious choice was Petrarca. I would have had to move mountains to get this guy in, but fortunately for me, I can get in Darcy Parish. Okay, now, oh fuck, there's a lot to talk about here actually around this. But so the first thing I wanted to say was that I definitely wouldn't have brought Darcy Parish in had Jack Steele not been injured. So now that he is, I'm so happy that I can bring in Darcy Parish. So, oh my God, so many thoughts running through my head right now. Okay, so at the start of the video, I said that Darcy Parish... No, sorry. At the start of the video, I said that it's so important to focus on your buy structure coming into the next few rounds that are coming up. And my buy structure, I need to bring in someone like Petrarca, and that's why I brought him in. So I brought in Petrarca over basically anyone else because, one, he's the best price, $5.78 for a 116, plus he went like maybe 117 in the 2020 year. Shortened quarters, which I think really benefited him, but even last year, I think back end of this season, probably around that 120 mark. So if he's able to replicate that, he's for $5.78. He's the obvious choice. So there just wasn't really a capacity there if I was going to be sensible to bring in Darcy Parish unless I got rid of DeConning, who's just not ready to go yet. So Jack Steele coming out in a weird way. Like most people be like, oh, this sucks, particularly if you started him, which I did. So like this guy, imagine how, like this is pretty shitty. Like you choose a guy and then he's kind of terrible and he's worth so much money and there's so much better value that you get rid of him for that purpose to get a cheap, a couple of cheaper guys because it's going to be better for scoring ultimately. And then he plays really, really, really well after you get rid of him. Then you think, geez, did I even make the right decision? So you think, oh, you know what? Who cares? I'll just get him back in. And then you spend $650K to get him back in. And then he drops two stinkers. Like I didn't even get I think I got a 120 once. And then he drops like a 75 back to back and then gets injured. And you're just like, bro. And even though those things happened, I wouldn't have it any other way because I get to bring in my man Darcy Parish. And let me get to this. This is the big bombshell. So on AFL 360 or AFL Tonight, no, The Couch. It was called The Couch. And it has Jonathan Brown sitting on a couch, literally with Nick Riewoldt on the same couch, and then Gary Lyons on a one-seater couch. And then they have a guest come on. So I reckon typically, no matter who the player is, they're probably like, oh, hey, mate, reach out to, let's say, I don't know who would go in there, like a Lockie Neal or something. He'd go onto this show and they're like, hey, Lockie, would you mind coming on the show? We just want to have a talk about footy, He's like, yeah, sweet. And most of the time, Lockie probably comes on and they just talk about footy like they said. And then they probably said that same shit to Dyson Heppel. Maybe I'm being naive or maybe he was naive. And was like, yeah, sweet, let's talk about footy. And then they go on the fucking show and he basically just like gets absolutely grilled by Gary Lyon, Jonathan Brown and Nick Riewoldt. And it's just like, bro, I don't know. They're just I don't know. It's, it would have been pretty hectic for Dyson Heppel to like take that criticism. It was like so, like they'd be like, hey, Dyson, the average number for tackles in the AFL is 60, and the Essendon supporters, they are absolutely filthy that you guys last week put up only 30 tackles, and how would you explain that? And it's like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, he's a guest coming on your show. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, anyway, he defended himself. They even like showed this footage of like, they're like, all right, let's just cut to this. This is what Matthew Lloyd, like a legend of the Essendon Football Club, like someone that Dyson Heppel would have a relationship with for sure. They would be like crossing paths frequently, I presume. And they'd be like, oh, how's it going? Probably give each other a bloody handshake and shit. And they show this footage, and it's like Matthew Lloyd being like, oh, you know what? That Luke Parker, if he did that to me, I would have given him something, or, some bullshit like that. And then Dyson's like, look, mate, we're not in the fucking business of giving away free kicks over here, and shit like that. And Dyson, I think, dealt with it so well, and just like kind of took a little step back and was just like, look, mate, we're trying to play footy and have fun. And then and an example of that is they even said to this guy, like, this is where it got like almost personal. This was actually some pretty cooked bullshit. Like, what the fuck are these guys bringing this shit up for? They literally said, and then you wonder, like, is it just like the guy in the media room telling them what to say? But then he said, fuck. What did he say? Gary Lyon said, fuck, what did he say? Gary Lyon, what did he say? I'm drawing a blank here, but I will find it. Sorry about this. Gary Lyon said, yes, got it. Sorry about this, guys. Really sorry about that. But yeah, he said that he's like, Dyson Heppel, what do you make of, it was his 200th game, which is like a massive moment for him, and he had like 50 or like almost literally looked like 100 of his family all lined up, and he like, probably not that many, maybe it was more like 25 or something, and he goes up and like, I'm pretty sure he hugs and embraces every single one of them as he goes along. And it was like a beautiful moment, and you could tell the team was like, fuck yeah, Dyson, you're the man, bro. And he's like, cheers, boys, what a moment for me. It was just like a nice thing. And they're like, what do you make of the over-celebration before the game? Because, the Essendon fans, they want to know, like, they want answers and shit like that. And it's like, bruh, what the fuck? Anyway, what that's ultimately going to do is Essendon now have like this giant media narrative going on, and they probably watched Dyson fucking deal with that criticism. They're like, fuck yeah. And what's going to happen is they're going to follow Dyson this week into battle against Richmond, which is a fantastic opponent. And I'll tell you why, because Richmond this week, they're on a streak. They've like won their last 2 or 3 games. Ever since Dusty's been back, I'm pretty sure they've only won, and I think he's played 3 games. So that's 3 wins in a row. And Essendon, like, Richmond just aren't that good, basically. And Essendon are a team capable of beating them coming off a 3-win streak. Like, after all of this media controversy, they're banding together. And for that reason, who's going to be at the head of this? Who's the number one suspect of who's going to be at the head of this resurgence that Essendon is about to go on? It's my man, Darcy Parish. So he's the saviour this year. He's our saviour, Darcy. It's going to hopefully be the year of the Darcy, Sean Darcy, Darcy Parish. That's what we're hoping for. Okay, so that's how we're going in with the team this week. And other than that, I don't really have any other predictions for like the games and that, but I'm just happy that the footy's back. That's absolutely a huge deal, because in 50 minutes or whatever, gonna be watching Adam Reynolds. He has just put on an absolute kicking masterclass. To be honest, he's done that probably for quite a while now, but taken it almost to a whole new level with the Brisbane Broncos, probably just because Brisbane Broncos generally get so many more eyes. But he's been doing some pretty cool shit this week, man, or at least in the last few weeks, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing him put on an absolutely beautiful performance tonight against the struggling Newcastle Knights. So yeah, it's going to be great entertainment. Looking forward to him launching some of those torpedoes up in the air. I mean, I'd say, to be honest, there are instances like, you know what? It's a controversial statement, and I don't know if I actually mean this or not, but right now, when I think about it, I think I'm more impressed with the kicking ability of the top NRL players right now than I am with anybody in the AFL. Now, it's a totally different type of kick. It's like there's way bigger guys than you coming to like take your head off, running straight at you, and they're allowed to hit you really, really hard. In fact, it's their job to do that, right? And even under that pressure, the deft touch that some of these guys pull off, I think at the moment, that type of kick is impressing me more than what's the best kick in the AFL right now? Maybe a Bontempelli sizzler into like the forward 50 that just like hits up like a small Cody Waitman, but he catches it easily because of how good the kick is. I think so. And on that note, that's going to be a joy to watch. So really looking forward to that one. And praise Darcy Parish, the saviour of our season.